Imagine Usain Bolt coming out of the blocks here. He's coming from here and he's firing up. So what we want to teach them is hands on the wall, knee up, toe up. A good one I like to think is tell them that they want to balance a glass of water here and they want to be able to hang a pail of water on their foot. So knee up, toe up. And we can go on both sides. And the second drill was the lean drill to teach them forward lean angles. So they're just going to keep leaning, and that's when they're going to start to accelerate. Lean as far as they can and accelerate. The skipping drill is for agility, for cutting. When we're cutting, we need to be able to push away and explode out. So all we're going to teach them in a very slow and controlled manner is just how to push. How to push. How to push. Once they start to piece that together, you can get agility, quickness, and reactiveness all together. And then the last part is just sprinting. So sprinting to half court, and then just walk back and make sure they're getting enough rest to be able to sprint as fast as they can again. What you'll see with them a lot is they'll come here and they're like this. And if they switch, they're going to switch like this. Lots of movement. What you want is to be able to maintain posture and just move the legs. So the upper body is rock solid and they're able to fire their legs. So the first one we're going to start with is our getting into the warm-up, is getting all the way up on our toes. We just want to make sure that we're staying tall and getting all the way up. Okay. High knees. High knees, we're going to give our knee a big hug, pull it up while staying tall, and then we're going to let go and see if we can hold it up here. And we're going to take a step and do it on the other side. The next one is going to be butt kicks. So we're going to bring our foot up towards our butt, grab on, get the stretch, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to let go and see if we can hold it up. The next one after that is going to be our lunge. So we're going to lunge forward. We're going to put one hand in the ground, the same as the front foot, and we're going to use the other arm to reach up in the side and get a nice stretch, upper body stretch. It's important in that one to have the front hand be planted firmly in the ground. So we don't want it to just be lazy, but it should be firm. Next one is the airplane one. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to try to take one leg back as far as we can, and we really want to reach with that leg. And we're going to take our arms and reach forward as far as we can. So we're just going to reach, and then take our step forward. And then we're going to reach, and take our step forward. The biggest things here is we don't want to see the leg flying way up. We just really want to reach, almost reaching out to that back wall. We're going to reach with our leg and reach with our arms. Okay? Once they start getting good with that, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that their hips are staying level. So we don't want to see them flopping over here, but we want to see if they can keep their hips level while reaching back. After that, we're going to go into our marching. So in the marching, we're just going to march with our knees up, bringing our arm up, and we're going to stay tall, not losing posture. So we're just going to march, setting the groundwork for our sprinting work later. After that, we just pick up the pace a little bit, and we're just going to skip. Same thing, getting our knees up, getting the arms up, and staying tall. After that, we'll do what's called the power skip, which is more of an exercise in learning how to create force. So we're going to get our knee up as high as we can, up as high as we can. From there, we'll get into our jogging. So now they've warmed up the joints, they're ready to go. We're just going to start with a light jog. Light jog, and then coming back, we're going to be light jog backwards. From there, we'll start to incorporate our lateral movements. So we'll shuffle this way, We'll shuffle back, making sure we're getting into a good athletic stance with our knees bent slightly and our hips pushed back. Once they've done that, we can stay in a lateral movement and use the karaoke to teach a little bit of dissociation between our upper and lower body. The last one I like to finish off with, the warm-up with, is sprinting. So once they're warmed up, they're ready to go, we want their nervous system and their brain to start firing at a higher level. So we're just going to let them sprint. So they're going to get into a good stance, and they're just going to sprint as fast as they can. We're going to go over the 2 stretches for home, which are great for the hips. We're going to start off with the 90-90. We're going to start with our leg directly out in front of us and a straight line from our knee to our foot, forming an L. And then we're going to get our toes all the way up. And we're going to do the same thing for our back leg. Straight line, all the way up. The first thing we want to see is just, can they get their hand off the ground? Some of them will not be able to get their hand off the ground, which is okay. They can gradually progress to getting into a upright position. From here, we're just going to let them hang out here for a minute or so. Once they do that, they're just going to push into the ground with the front leg, but they have to stay tall. So they're going to push. They're going to hold that for 10 seconds or so. Once they're tired here, they're going to come forward slightly, but they don't want to lose height. They want to stay tall and come forward in the hip. The second part to this stretch is the back foot. So we're just going to see, can they turn around and hold this stretch here? And we can do that on both sides. The second stretch for home is our half kneeling hip flexor stretch. So we're going to get in a good position here with the foot under our knee and our knee under our back hip here. From here, we're just going to reach up with our opposite arm, reach up, and we're going to stay tall. What you don't want to see in this one, which is a common mistake, is when we do our hip flexor stretch, a lot of people will come here, and what you'll notice here is my back is now in what's called extension. We don't want to get there, we want to stay tall, and what they'll notice is if they're in the right position here, they don't have to come forward very far to get that stretch. And we can put the other arm up, and we can stay in good posture, because good posture is the most important part of this. We don't want to get our athletes into extension. So we're just going to hold this position, we're going to reach up, stay tall, and we're getting a good hip flexor stretch here. Hang out there for a minute, and then we can do the other side as well.